Hello, we meet again in the VNA News broadcast daily, and following are today's highlights.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng begins his official visit to Russia with a meeting with St. Petersburg Acting Governor Igor Divinsky. Business representatives call on the governments of ASEAN and EU countries to minimize non-tariff barriers to further facilitate investment and trade activities. Efforts to reduce gender inequality have brought about remarkable progress in the Vietnamese society.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng on March 9th arrived in St. Petersburg, beginning an official visit to Russia. The visit is made at the invitation of Chairwoman of the Federation Council of Russia's Federal Assembly, Valentina Matvienko.
Hùng was welcomed at the Petersburg airport by Deputy Chairman of the Russian Federation Council, St. Petersburg Council's representatives, and the Vietnamese ambassador to Russia, Phạm Xuân Sơn. Immediately after his arrival, Hùng met with Igor Divinsky, acting governor of St. Petersburg, at Simony Palace. Chairman Hùng affirmed that his visit aims to further foster and deepen the traditional relations and comprehensive strategic partnership between the two states, assemblies, and peoples of Russia and Vietnam. He reiterated that Russia is a leading important partner in the foreign policy of Vietnam. Divinsky said his city is willing to cooperate with localities of Vietnam in the areas of economy, culture, tourism, and education, contributing to a more fruitful and effective cooperation between the two countries' ties. Russia is the first leg of the National Assembly's chairman's tour to 3 European countries, which later will take him to Germany and Poland.
Over 700 business representatives have called on the governments of ASEAN and European Union countries to minimize non-tariff barriers, as well as harmonizing procedures and regulations on goods and services to further facilitate investment and trade activities.
At a meeting with ASEAN economic ministers and European Union Trade Commissioner Karel de Gucht in Hanoi on March 9th, the businesses also asked ASEAN member countries to facilitate the flow of human resources within the region by harmonizing standards and procedures in terms of labor training, immigration, and security. In particular, they urged ASEAN member countries to have fair treatment for enterprises of all economic sectors. Chairman of the European Business Chamber of Commerce, Eurocharm, Preben Hulen, said, investors all want transparent and fair policies and laws when they do business in ASEAN countries. The consultation meeting is among events in the framework of the 19th ASEAN Economic Ministers Retreat that took place in Hanoi from March 6th to 9th. The ASEAN Economic Ministers Retreat focused discussions on the basic and priority directions for economic integration within ASEAN this year. The ministers reiterated the resolve to establish the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015. They signed 2 protocols amending the ASEAN economic agreements related to trade in goods and the ASEAN Comprehensive Investment Agreement. At the 12th consultation between ASEAN economic ministers and the EU Trade Commissioner, the two sides agreed on the 2013 cooperation focus of fostering the investment ties. They adopted the ASEAN-EU Trade and Investment Work Programme for the 2013-2014 period.
Vietnam's first law on gender equality was passed by the National Assembly in November 2006. The international community has recognized that the country has achieved remarkable progress in promoting gender equality. On the occasion of the International Women's Day, let's look back at the country's efforts in this issue.
This is a talk on gender prejudice relating to vocation held by the Central Committee of the Communist Youth Union. Guests at the event included many women who are the pioneers in taking up jobs used to be considered the playground for men. There are business women, pilots, taxi drivers, and police women. I became a pilot entirely by chance. I read an ad by Vietnam Airlines recruiting pilots, so I decided to try my luck. We only live once, so don't let ourselves bounded by social prejudice. Let's live to the full. In the field of scientific research, women are also proving what they can do. At the Experimental Biology Center, under the Technological Application Institute of the Ministry of Science and Technology, 80% of the research staff are women. We male researchers admire our women colleagues. Besides fulfilling the research work just like us, they also raise the family as well as shoulder their social responsibilities. The progress in gender issues is also reflected in numerous figures, such as almost one-fourth of National Assembly deputies are women. 40% of ministries and government agencies have women leaders. Over 20% of business owners and more than 61% of university students are women.
Provided the clause that women in senior positions can extend. So I think that an acknowledgement of the core contribution of women to senior decision-making levels is essential, and women are saying that they cannot increase their representation in the National Assembly or in other senior positions because it is very difficult for them to access the training or the other career opportunities. So that's an area where I think there will be increasing debate and we may see some movement.
Despite positive results, there remain difficulties in the country's gender equality work. Gender prejudice still exists in the society. Women remain victims in domestic violence.
And we find that there are many more boys being born than girls. And the rate is actually, it's not the highest rate in the world, but it is the fastest growing rate in the world. And some areas, some provinces have up to 120 boys born per 100 girls.
At a recent policy dialogue on gender equality in Hanoi, Minister of Labour, Women Values and Social Affairs Phạm Thị Hải Truyền pledged to continue implementing gender equality programs and policies, thus ensuring a violence-free society for women and girls. This affirmed Vietnam's determination to achieve an equal and progressive society.
The so-called capital of Vietnamese coffee, Buôn Ma Thuột city of the Central Highlands province of Đắk Lắk, is hosting the 4th Coffee Festival 2013. The event opened on March 9th with a wide range of activities to follow.
The 4-day festival will feature an exhibition of Vietnamese coffee products, a street festival, a coffee brewing contest, and a contest to choose an ambassador for Vietnamese coffee. Attending the event, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Thiện Nhân praised the coffee sector in general and Đắk Lắk province in particular for the recent achievements. The country exports more than 1 million tons of coffee beans each year to nearly 100 countries and territories worldwide. Last year, Vietnam surpassed Brazil to become the world's largest coffee exporter, with export revenue of $3.4 billion, a year-on-year increase of 36%. Đắk Lắk province alone produces 400,000 tons of coffee beans, with export turnover of about $700 million per year. Coffee production has become a spearhead economic sector of the province and region, contributing greatly to improving local people's lives.
The Ministry of Education and Training and the Honda Vietnam Company have launched the 6th Children's Idea Contest to develop the imagination and creativity of primary school students nationwide.
Launched in Japan in 2002, the contest was held in Vietnam for the first time in 2008. This year's contest, themed Ideas for a Better Life, is open to children between 6 and 10 years of age. It aims to encourage the kids to express their dreams and evoke their humanitarian thoughts and social responsibility. Children can submit their ideas expressed through drawings, Selected entries will then be turned into actor models. Finally, outstanding creators will be chosen to give a presentation on their ideas and models. During the 5 years the scheme has been running in Vietnam, it has brought many practical benefits to not only poor students but to primary schools experiencing difficulties. The organizing board will receive children's drawings until May 31st.
We come to the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.